The family dinner turned ugly when his sister slammed her glass down and screamed, "You'll never be good enough for my brother." My husband laughed and said, "She's just looking out for me." I smiled and pulled out a letter. "Then you'll love what she wrote to my lawyer." Her face went white as the room fell silent. I never thought a family dinner could explode into such chaos, but here we are. My husband, Daniel, and I had been married for 3 years. Our relationship had its ups and downs, like any marriage, but we always found our way back to each other. However, his sister, Olivia, had been a constant thorn in my side. From the moment we announced our engagement, Olivia made it clear that she didn't think I was good enough for her brother. Her passive-aggressive comments and icy stares had become the norm at family gatherings. That evening, the dining room was filled with the aroma of roasted chicken and freshly baked bread. The table was set meticulously, reflecting the Southern charm that Daniel's family prided themselves on. As we all settled into our seats, I couldn't shake the feeling that tonight would be different. The conversation started innocuously enough, discussions about work, the latest news, and neighborhood gossip. But as the meal progressed, Olivia's remarks became sharper. "So, Daniel," Olivia began, swirling the wine in her glass, "have you ever thought about what your life would be like if you hadn't settled down so quickly?" Daniel chuckled nervously. "I think I made the right choice, Liv." She smirked. "I don't know. Seems like you had so much potential. It's just, some people can be anchors." The room fell silent. I felt my cheeks flush, but I held my tongue. Trying to defuse the tension, I said, "Olivia, I understand that family looks out for each other, but perhaps we can keep the conversation positive?" She slammed her glass onto the table, the sound echoing through the room. "You'll never be good enough for my brother," she spat, her eyes burning with contempt. Daniel placed a hand on her arm, attempting to calm her. "Liv, that's enough." But she shrugged him off. "I'm just looking out for you." Daniel sighed. "She's just looking out for me." I took a deep breath, reaching into my purse. "Well, Olivia," I said, pulling out a folded letter, "then you'll love what you wrote to my lawyer." Her face went white as the room fell into a stunned silence. I unfolded the letter, my hands steady despite the adrenaline coursing through me. "This," I began, "is a letter you sent to my attorney last month. In it, you express concerns about my fitness as Daniel's wife and suggest that perhaps an investigation into my past might reveal unsavory details." Daniel's brow furrowed. "What?" "Olivia, is this true?" She stammered. I thought she might be hiding something. I was protecting you." I continued, "You went so far as to hire a private investigator to dig into my history. Imagine my surprise when my lawyer informed me of your initiative." Daniel turned to her, his voice low and filled with disappointment. "Liv, how could you? This is beyond overstepping." She looked around the table, seeking support, but found none. Her parents looked down, ashamed. I stood up, placing the letter on the table. "I have nothing to hide, Olivia. But your actions have consequences. I've spoken with my attorney about a restraining order. I won't tolerate this invasion of my privacy." Tears welled in her eyes. "Daniel, you have to understand. I was doing this for you." He shook his head. "No, Olivia. You did this for yourself. You need to leave." She stood abruptly, her chair scraping against the hardwood floor, and stormed out of the house. The front door slammed behind her, leaving an oppressive silence in her wake. Daniel turned to me, his eyes filled with regret. "I'm so sorry." I had no idea she would go this far. I nodded. "I know. But we need to set boundaries. This can't happen again." He took my hand, squeezing it gently. "Agreed." That night, as we lay in bed, Daniel held me close. The weight of the evening pressed down on us, but there was also a sense of relief. The truth was out, and we could begin to heal. In the days that followed, Olivia reached out with apologies, but I maintained my distance. Trust, once broken, isn't easily mended. Family dynamics are complex and loyalty can blur the lines of right and wrong. But standing up for oneself, even in the face of familial opposition, is crucial. As Daniel and I moved forward, We did so with a renewed commitment to each other, understanding that our bond was ours to protect, no matter the challenges that came our way. 3 weeks passed after that dinner. No calls from Olivia. No messages. Just silence. I thought maybe, just maybe, she had finally realized she crossed a line. But deep down, I didn't trust the quiet. I was right not to. One Friday afternoon, I came home from work and found Daniel sitting on the front porch with a look on his face I hadn't seen in a while. Not anger. Not sadness. Just blank. "What's going on?" I asked, dropping my bag on the bench. He didn't say anything at first. Just handed me his phone. It was an email. From his boss. Daniel was being placed on administrative leave. Someone had anonymously sent a tip to his company's HR department claiming he had falsified documents at work, an extremely serious accusation for someone in finance. My stomach dropped. "Are you kidding me?" I asked. "Who would even?" He cut me off, his voice tired. "You already know who." And I did. Later that night, Daniel received a call from an old college friend, someone Olivia used to date. The guy sounded nervous and almost whispered through the phone, but he told Daniel the truth. Olivia had contacted him 2 weeks ago asking questions about Daniel's past jobs and whether he ever bent the rules. He didn't help her, but clearly someone else did. That's when we knew Olivia wasn't done. I started documenting everything. Every weird message. Every blocked call. I went to my lawyer again. He advised we collect more proof before taking her to court. But it didn't end there. 2 days later, I got a visit from CPS. Yes, Child Protective Services. We don't even have kids. Apparently someone, again, anonymous, reported that we were fostering without a license and keeping unstable individuals in our home. It was so ridiculous. The caseworker looked confused just standing on our front steps. Still, they had to follow up. I let them in. Showed them everything. Answered every question. They left, embarrassed, and told us it would be closed out as a false report. Daniel looked at me that night, eyes red. "She's trying to break us." I nodded. "We won't let her." That weekend, we went to his parents' house. I wanted it to be calm, to just explain what was happening. But when we got there, Olivia was sitting at the kitchen table, sipping coffee like nothing ever happened. She looked up, smiled at Daniel. "You look tired. Everything okay?" I saw red. "You need help," I said, before Daniel could speak. "This is your warning. You come at my job, my husband, or my home again, and you'll wish you hadn't." Her smile faded. "I don't know what you're talking about." Daniel spoke next. "Liv, we know it was you. And I'm done pretending this is normal. You need to leave us alone." Their mom came into the room at that point and looked between all of us, confused. "What's going on?" Olivia stood, calm on the outside, but her hands were clenched into fists. "They're accusing me of things I didn't do." I turned to his mother. "Do you honestly believe this all just happens by coincidence? First the letter, then the PI, then his job, then CPS? Come on." She looked at Olivia. Her face changed. "Tell me the truth." Olivia stared at us all, then burst into tears. "I just wanted to protect him." Daniel walked out. He didn't say a word. He just walked out and kept walking down the street. I followed, but he waved me off. "I need a minute." I stood there in the driveway, watching my husband walk away while his sister cried inside a house that used to feel like home. Something had broken. Maybe for good. But Olivia wasn't finished. The next twist hit harder than any of us expected. A few days later, I got a letter. Not an email. A letter. It was from Olivia's lawyer. She was suing me. For defamation. She claimed the letter I showed at dinner embarrassed and humiliated her in front of family and caused emotional distress. The letter even said I had intentionally damaged her reputation with false and exaggerated claims. Daniel laughed when he read it. "She's lost it." But my lawyer wasn't laughing. "She's trying to flip the script," he said. "She's creating noise to distract from her actions. But it's going to backfire." We started preparing. I gave him everything: screenshots, emails, statements from Daniel's friend, the CPS visit report. The timeline painted a clear picture. But still, the stress was building. I didn't sleep much that week. Neither did Daniel. Then, one night, while we were watching a movie trying to distract ourselves, Daniel's phone buzzed. It was a text from a number he didn't recognize. All it said was, "You should have picked someone better." That was it. No name, no context. But we knew. We traced the number to a burner phone. Daniel's tech friend did a quick dig and found the phone was activated a week ago in a store 5 miles from Olivia's apartment. We reported it. We gave the police the full story. They said they'd look into it. But Olivia was careful. She was always careful. And then, just when we thought things couldn't get worse, Daniel's company called. They cleared him. He was allowed to return to work. No wrongdoings. No record. It was the first one we had in weeks. But the relief was short-lived, because what Olivia did next was something I never saw coming. So Daniel went back to work, and for the first time in weeks, we thought maybe we'd caught a break. The relief didn't last long. About 4 days into him being back at the office, I got a call from our HOA president. Friendly woman. Always kind. She said, "Hi, just a quick heads up, we received an anonymous complaint about your yard. Something about unlicensed renovations and rodents." I actually laughed at first. I thought she was joking. She wasn't. Someone had sent in a report to the HOA accusing us of doing illegal construction in our backyard and attracting pests due to improper waste disposal. The president said she was required to come check it out, but she clearly didn't believe it either. She came over, walked around, saw nothing, shook her head and said, "Someone's messing with you." I didn't even bother guessing anymore. Olivia had taken revenge and turned it into a full-time hobby. And then, the real twist dropped. Daniel's mom called me one afternoon. Hesitant. Voice shaky. "Can I talk to you? Just you?" I met her at a little coffee shop near her house. She looked pale, like she hadn't slept. She didn't order anything. Just sat down and took out her phone. She slid it across the table. I shouldn't have looked. But Olivia left her iPad at our house. It wasn't locked. I found her notes app open. I picked up the iPad and looked. My heart skipped. There were lists. Literal lists. Ways to ruin her rep, places to post anonymously, fake reviews about her business. I do small business consulting from home. Fake diary entries in case I need to show them to someone. I scrolled down and saw draft messages. Emails. Stories she planned to tell. Some were things like, "She's emotionally abusive to Daniel," and "She's obsessed with money," all completely made up. There were even photos attached, screenshots of MY social media, edited to look like I was bragging about taking money from Daniel's accounts. So badly photoshopped it was almost laughable. I stared at Daniel's mom. Did she send any of this? She shook her head. I don't know. But if she's writing it down, she's thinking about it. I asked if I could take pictures. She nodded. Then she said something I'll never forget. "I love my daughter, but I'm scared of what she's becoming." We added all of it to the case file. My lawyer was furious. He said Olivia's behavior was getting dangerously close to criminal harassment. And then, boom, we got a letter from a local reporter. They wanted to confirm a story before printing it. Something about me being investigated by the IRS for fraud. At that point, I was done. I had Daniel call the guy and set up a meeting. We met him at a diner and gave him everything. All the background. The letter from dinner. The CPS visit. The harassment. The lawsuit. The fake social posts. Everything. The reporter nodded the whole time. At the end, he said, "Okay. That's what I needed. I'm not printing anything." Turned out Olivia had tried to leak a story about me anonymously, and the reporter decided to check before running with it. So now we knew Olivia wasn't just trying to destroy my personal life. She wanted to ruin my name publicly. And yet, she still wasn't finished. 1 week later, I received a letter from a private school across town. It was addressed to me. It said, We've reviewed your request for employment and have decided not to proceed due to background concerns. I had never applied to that school, but someone used my name, my phone number, my old resume, then sent in anonymous character references pointing to online rumors and legal complaints, all of which Olivia either created or triggered. I broke down crying that night. Daniel held me, saying over and over, "She won't win. She won't win." But I didn't feel strong anymore. Until the next morning, when Daniel made a decision. He filed a police report. Then we filed for a real restraining order. We hired a digital forensics expert to track everything. That included the emails, the fake accounts, the phone records. It took weeks, but the connections started to line up. And then came the biggest twist yet. Daniel got a call from a lawyer, not mine, not his. It was Olivia's ex-husband's attorney. Turns out, he had gone through a nasty divorce with her 5 years ago. He'd seen similar behavior, but never had the proof to fight her fully. Now, after finding out about what she was doing to me, he wanted to help. He gave us access to a file. Photos, messages, voice recordings. In one of them, Olivia literally says, "If I can't control him, I'll destroy the one who does." Chilling. With his help and all the digital records we collected, my lawyer was finally ready to move forward with everything. We weren't done, but we were finally getting somewhere. The next steps were going to take things into public court. And Olivia? She had no idea what was coming. We filed everything. The police had the reports. My lawyer had the evidence. The court granted us a temporary restraining order first, and then set a hearing to make it permanent. Daniel's mother gave a written statement. So did Olivia's ex-husband. The file kept growing. Olivia didn't show up to the first court date. Her lawyer tried to delay it. Judge didn't like that. Postponed by 1 week, no more. During that week, something unexpected happened. I got a text from a blocked number. "You really want to do this to his family?" That was it. I didn't reply, but it made something snap inside me. I wasn't scared anymore. I was angry. The hearing came. The courtroom was plain, not like TV. Olivia came in wearing a soft beige sweater, hair pulled back, face blank. Like she was the victim. She barely looked at me. Daniel sat beside me, jaw tight. The judge asked if we wanted to speak first. My lawyer nodded. I spoke for over 30 minutes. I laid everything out calm, clear, and with proof. The fake letter to my lawyer, the private investigator she hired, the fake CPS report, the false HR complaint to Daniel's job, the fake job application with slanderous references, the edited screenshots, the notes found on her iPad, the attempted leak to the media, the threatening text messages. Then came the best part. My lawyer handed over the recording Olivia's ex-husband had provided. It played in the courtroom on a small speaker. Her voice was unmistakable. "If I can't control him, I'll destroy the one who does." The courtroom was dead silent. The judge stared at her for a long time. Her lawyer whispered something to her, and for the first time, I saw Olivia's composure crack. She looked like she might cry. Then she looked right at me. "I made mistakes," she said softly. "I didn't mean for it to go this far." The judge wasn't impressed. He granted the permanent restraining order on the spot. Ordered Olivia to stay at least 500 feet from me, Daniel, and our home. She was banned from contacting either of us in any way, text, email, phone, third party. But that wasn't all. Because of the false reports to CPS and Daniel's job, and the attempted public defamation, we were filing a civil case next for damages. Olivia went pale when she heard that. She tried to talk to Daniel outside the courtroom after the hearing. He didn't stop. He walked right past her. She called after him, "Please. I'm your sister." He turned around only once. "You were." That was the last time we saw her. But here's the thing. This whole thing? It changed me too. I made a mistake at the start. I ignored the signs. I let her push my boundaries again and again, thinking she'd grow out of it. That it's just family. That it's not worth the fight. But I learned the hard way. You teach people how to treat you. I should have stood up to her the moment she crossed the line. I should have protected my peace earlier. I won't make that mistake again. The civil case wrapped up 6 months later. She settled out of court. Quietly. Privately. She didn't want anything public. Her lawyer asked if we'd agree to no media attention in exchange for a payout and written apology. I said no to the apology. I didn't need her words. But I took the money. We donated half of it to a local domestic abuse nonprofit. The other half went into a savings account, just in case the peace doesn't last forever. Daniel and I, we're still together. Stronger now. Because surviving someone like Olivia, it either breaks you apart or binds you tighter than ever. She thought she could ruin me. Instead, she lost everything. And I learned that sometimes. Revenge is just letting someone live with the mess they made, while you walk away clean.